Well, greetings. Here we are for C-Suite Network's Women's Coaching and Consulting Council. We are surrounded by the best of the best, ladies. So thank you, Terry, you're here. Carol, you're here. Molly, you're here. And I'm here. So that's it. And we know other ladies will join us. And we cannot wait for you all to watch the recording too. So let me jump in. This is an important topic. Wow, the Doge era, and this is one of the things that is really, as you all know, it is up in the news. And as the youth say, it's about to get real up in here. I don't quite say it the way they say it, but they have it a certain way of saying it. Yeah. Molly, you're probably more in tune with how the youth say it's about to get real up in here, right? Yes. Okay. Feel free to jump in. All right. I'm Kathleen Caldwell, founder of C-Suite Network, Women's Coaching and Consulting Council. Hey, we have too much to cover for me to tell you about me. This is all about you. Hey, these are this morning and yesterday's headlines. It's the world is getting busy out there, right? With everything that's happening in the economy, with the new administration, on and on and on. And what I'd like for us today is for us to be, we're always solution finders, right, ladies? And for us to continue to be in service to our clients, to our communities, and to the world, and also to ourselves, of course, and our families and to our businesses. But I could have chosen this morning. I wanted to freshen things up and add more headlines. I could have added literally in the last 15 minutes, no fewer than 20 new headlines about what's happening. The DOGE initiative, the Department of Government Efficiency, headed up by Elon Musk, as you know, is they're busy. Okay. It's impacting every area of our economy. And I think if you haven't seen it, you can check out the source at the bottom, the usdebtclock.org. This is mesmerizing. This is one of the things that they have already started to do, is to be able to put metrics around every aspect of the federal government, state government, jobs, all the reports. And this is mesmerizing. So I was trying to link to it live, but honestly, I got a little dizzy. So be sure, excuse me, connect with it when we're done with our call, because it's a real-time dashboard for what is happening in the economy. Now, we have to always question, where's the data coming from, of course, but it's accountability that is one of the mainstays of the new DOGE initiative. And so just quickly, I don't want to get into a lot of text, but I just grabbed some things. Part of the big initiative is that aggressive budget cuts. And the goal is 2 trillion in deficit reductions by America's 250th anniversary, July the 6th of 2026. So budget cuts, governance with the federal government, trying to get the government to operate more like entrepreneurs, okay, and to bring in more of a business mindset, and also shifts in policies, regulations, tariffs, all kinds of stuff. I don't want to get into a lot of the details, but keep a high line, kind of a high visibility, so that we're all up on what's happening, and most importantly, what's happening with our clients. Okay. So, and I want to get the conversation going here in a moment, but I wanted to kind of set the stage. The impact, as you know, as consultants and coaches, we're always thinking about what's the impact and then what's the implication of the impact, right? But cost cutting, jobs going away, sectors like healthcare, national security, Carol, I know you're doing a lot of work on this with the NIH, and, serving G12, G13, 14 federal employees on how to pivot into new careers. But everything is really being re-examined. Also, I'm noticing now that it's moving into education. And of course, DEI programs. I've got a whole list of things because I have been researching this now for literally 2 months, and I'm spending time every day to look at this. And use this as an opportunity to reach out to my clients. So tip number one, leaning into what's happening with your clients. Okay. And then just want to also kind of add a few more things. The initiatives are also pointing to reskilling and retraining. Private corporations, they're leaning on private corporations to come in and fill the gap because people, as they may be let go or given severance packages, the DOGE initiative knows that these people may need to be reskilled. And so they're leaning on partnerships, job placement assistance, okay, and also entrepreneurial and small business support. All right. So lots of things that are happening right now. And also opportunities, but also challenges. Okay. Severance packages are being developed now to be able to, the technically the line is, to be generous and to be thoughtful in this restructuring. Okay. But the other big issue is, of course, collaborating with industry associations, labor unions, education, and private industries. Okay. So we think that DOGE is Department of Government Efficiency, but what I'm seeing and what all of the experts are seeing is this is really impacting very quickly every aspect of our economy. Okay. So we can put our head in the sand. Our clients can put in their head in the sand and say, hey, I wish it wouldn't happen, but it's happening. Okay. And then I love this graphic here, which really tells the story. And I want to pause here in a moment and take a deep breath because this is how I respond to this is like, okay, this is happening, got to be picking up the pace here. But kind of the mindset in many organizations, private, public, nonprofit, et cetera, is, hey, if we don't change anything, will just something happen? Lightning will strike. Well, things will happen, but it may be not what our clients want. Okay. So I want to pause and get you in the conversation because we're also going to integrate into our conversation. What can we do for ourselves in our businesses, our coaching and consulting businesses, but how can we also serve our clients? Okay. So what are you seeing? What are the challenges that you're experiencing or the client? What are you seeing that your clients are experiencing right now with, the new administration? And again, we can go down a politics road. I really don't want us to, because the politics are like for another day, but dealing with what is one of the things we as coaches and consultants do really, really well, right? Taking the emotion out of it to deal with the facts. So want to get your voices in here. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What's happening in your world?
I'll speak.
Yeah, Molly, please.
I am definitely sensing job security concerns. I've got clients asking, how do I become more visible? How do I add more value without providing more of my time? So those are things that I'm seeing. Clients are really wanting to secure their jobs.
Yeah, very, very great. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. And Molly, isn't this a great question that really we all should be asking at all times, right? Is how do we add more
Yes.
value? How do
Yes.
we uh, be in greater service, right? And at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, maintaining our sanity and our balance in life, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
great. And you're the perfect person to help them with
Thank you.
this, Molly. Yeah, really
Thank you.
great. Yeah, thanks. Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah. Terry, what are you seeing? Carol, what are you seeing and hearing and observing that's happening with the DOGE initiative or just any of these topics?
That what's moving so quickly, people are still facing a lot of uncertainty, not sure which pieces, with Ramaswamy no longer being part of the initiative. There's whole sections of it that appear to have broken off and are no longer the highest priorities. What I've been, I've been hearing that Musk's leaning more on going in and looking at the computer systems within the various departments. You seem to be getting some better ear to the ground in terms of what might be going on people wise, because I've been mostly been seeing high notes. And so one of the things we might share is, where are you seeing reliable and more in-depth sources? Because I'm seeing some of those on the on the technical side. Some of my sources are saying, here's what's likely to happen. Here's where uh there's some really outdated systems that are low-hanging fruit. But I'm curious what you guys might be hearing in terms of restructuring, them working with, as opposed to just slicing or doing it in a way that laying people off without laying people off. For example, requiring people that are, say, located in Chicago to go back to work at a Washington, D.C. job. So that kind of thing. But yeah, still a lot of people going, it's not settled out yet. Things, there's a lot of noise, but not a lot of clarity at this point.
Yes. Yes. How true, Terry. Yes. And of course, the big return to office initiative, which is part of the federal government initiative, and we know that that's been rippling through private, through corporate for a long time as well. And so, isn't it interesting how government is then, of course, mirroring private and nonprofit and all, just through the entire economy, and of
And,
course, AI. Yeah. Thank you, Terry.
well,
Go ahead.
and yet they've also left an out there that supervisors, that management can, for certain positions, certain types of jobs, create exceptions. So it's going to be interesting, just like the corporate world, where they figure out that it's more effective to have certain people in certain parts of the country.
Thank you. Excellent.
No.
And there, I think, well, obviously we have, Kara, we'll come over to you in a second. There are more questions than we have answers. And, putting the hat on of our clients, they're feeling this way as well. And so who are they leaning into that? And we'll talk a little bit about that, about how we can step in and use our strengths as a trusted advisor to support them. But, things that, what I'm also focused on is the ripple effect of all of this, all of these changes, and changes so fast, is also the accessibility concern as well. I just read an article this morning about the impact on return to the office on people with accessibility concerns. And so, I think the point I'm also really fascinated by and really intrigued by is that these changes are going to make a ripple effect in things like child care and the economy of people driving to an office, transportation, the economy of just things like people going back to work. Well, what does that mean for the local economy of stores and vendors and restaurants that may have been shuttered during the remote work thing? So it's fascinating to think about all of the changes that will occur, and many perceived as not good, many perceived as like, wow, this is a boom for many. So yes, yeah, it's we're living in the question age, aren't we? More than ever. Yeah. Carol, what
I
are
love
you
that.
seeing? Yeah, we are living in the question age. Yeah.
That is beautiful. I need to write that down before I talk.
Okay. I need to write it down too, because I just thought of it. So yeah, yeah. But from the perspective of, thank you, is the question age. And guess what? As coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors, we may not have all the answers, but we have some things that we're going to talk about here in a moment. We had a solid foundation and of supporting our clients and supporting our communities. And
Yeah.
I also want to mention, yesterday I had a very, very intense conversation with a client who is dealing with concerns about immigration for their company. And, this is another thing that's, we've got return to work, we've got immigration, we've got healthcare, we've got education. I mean, everything is topsy-turvy now. And to be able to sit with her on Zoom and just get her concerns because of she is in a very key role in a corporation, and they a big majority of their employees are immigrants. And I don't want to go down the path of illegal, whatever. It's not important in this moment, but her dealing with her own, and she's a person who immigrated to the United States herself. And so it was bringing up a lot of concerns for her personally, for her family, and for all kinds of things. And so, what a gift to be able to sit with her, be with her, hold space, and be a calming force for her was absolutely golden, because I wouldn't allow myself to get into the energy of the fear and the worry and all that, because I wouldn't, if I got in there with her, I wouldn't have been in service to her. So I just wanted to mention, I think there's moments in every day where we can reach out, point number, whatever it is, but what can we do? Reach out to people and just engage in conversations about, hey, how can I support you? What are you dealing with? What's happening in your company? What's happening in your community? What are you seeing? And just that outreach is really, really helpful. But it's obviously it's got to come from a place where we are solid in our resourced state, right? Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Carol, you were saying,
Oh,
what
okay.
what are you
So,
seeing? What are you hearing? And you are responding now. You are not reacting. You are responding with great offers and
yeah,
opportunities.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, a recent article that I read was about National Institutes of Health and how um, all of the openings are closed now, and they will not be replacing anyone. People have had their travel budget wiped out. And that means not only do principal investigators not uh, unable to get together in meetings, other than on Zoom, I suppose, but they can't pay for patients to travel to um, clinical trial things. That used to be part of clinical trials, is that your expenses associated with getting there would be paid, and that will be wiped out. There's so many, like cascade of events, and kind of scary, kind of scary.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And thinking about then, Carol, to your point, of course, thinking about the impact and the implication to, okay,
Yeah.
what does that mean to the department, the division, the ecosystems, all, I mean, they're
Mhm.
just, it's amazing. The travel
Yeah,
industry may
right.
be impacted. And, it's, I think coming back to a lot of us is how are we dealing with this as individuals? And so hence the opportunity to support our clients, right? They are beautiful HR, L&D, IT, C-suite. I don't know that they are, you know, we could offer and extend a hand of friendship and assistance to help them in these types of things. Because I don't know that there's a playbook, ladies, for this, right? And so, yeah, exactly. So thank you. So our time is now, right? I think that is really what I'm noticing is the time is now. And we can keep paddling upstream, and our clients can keep paddling upstream and trying to resist. And, however they're dealing with is how they're dealing with it. But I'd like to say, let's get into the downstream of this because it's a lot easier and helping our clients deal with change. Maybe not, this silly little graphic is, loving and embracing change, but isn't this really fundamentally change? And uh, we're great at this. So, a couple things that I've been thinking about for us. And again, we could talk for hours. We could have a super summit on this, and we may in our council, because this is really important to get a whole variety of bring in some folks from different departments and divisions, different corporations. My plan is to have many of my corporate clients, they're planning to have them speak in February about on the ground in the workplace, what are they dealing with, to hear it directly from them. So, but for us, some takeaways that I'm thinking we can take for ourselves is we've got to position ourselves for success. So, one thing that I learned during the Great Recession many years ago is we can't be completely solely reliant about one area of business. If we've got one exact kind of client in one exact kind of industry, and that's all we do. During the Great Recession, my main business was team building and leadership. I had specialized programs in the banking industry. And when it was great, it was super, super great. And then the recession hit, and one of the first areas in the industries to be hit during the Great Recession was banking, financial institutions. So we can go from a 6-7 figure business down to literally very, very little, kind of what employees are dealing with this overnight. So looking out the horizon, where do I need to fortify my business? Okay. How can I diversify what I'm doing, my offers, my opportunities? If I'm just doing things, if I'm just speaking at conferences, well, I need to bring that into more corporate work, more association work, more diversification. And of course, all of this disruption is an opportunity for growth, right? It depends also what's the lens that we're putting on it. And Carol, I know that you and I have discussed in the Women's Success Accelerator extensively is what are the facts of the situation, but what's the meaning that we're creating? And if we're stuck in the meaning, and perhaps the drama triangle, it's going to be hard for us to break out, and it's going to be hard for us to be a reliable resource for our clients. And of course, all of this, I think, are strategies to strengthen our relationships with our clients, move closer to them, lean in, pick up the phone, get in conversation with them about what are they dealing with, what's happening, how can I be an ally? And that was the wrap up from my call yesterday with one of my clients. Is she thanked me profusely for being a trusted advisor. And number two, she said, Kathleen, you're such an ally to me, such an ally. And I was like, wow, that's really great. Okay. Being an advocate and an ally to people and human beings is fantastic. Okay. Yep. And I know these are things you already know and already do, but can we step it up here? Okay. And a lot of words on here, but just kind of some big picture things on how we can maneuver the DOGE initiative, Department of Government Efficiency, and all of these changes is, obviously we've got to take a tactical but strategic approach. What's the landscape? Encourage our clients to get really involved in understanding what are the new dynamics. And of course, what are the strategic objectives? I think getting through these changes is not a strategic objective, but being able to really look at here's where we're going, and perhaps the route to get there may have been changed, but the outcome hasn't changed. And of course, this is where coaches and consultants come right in at the very end. How can we help our clients become more resilient, confident, and navigate these changes, right? So I'm incorporating all of these things into my offers, okay? And of course, we get to be the light, ladies, the light of optimism, informed optimism. when you can bring a great perspective to your clients and you can be a resource and you can lean in and support them, I don't know that we have to be an expert on what are the exact grants that are going to be, changed in this particular department at this particular time. I think that level of granularity could make our head spin, but we can understand the nuances and be a resource to our clients. And I want to mention, I am now doubling down on my relationships with attorneys at a local, state, and federal level who are immigration, employment, lawyers, and people in the policy level that have a firsthand knowledge of what's happening. People in local organizations that can support the community. So really getting invested in all of our local and state organizations, perhaps reaching out to politicians that you may know or you'd like to connect with, just again with a, hey, here's what I'm hearing. What do you know? How can I help? Okay, so being the light. All right. And of course, what I'm taking to is the big questions, what's happening out there? What are you hearing? And connecting with other coaches and consultants. What are they hearing? I mean, I'm curious. I got some new insights through your sharing, and I appreciate that. I hope you have received the same, some new insights of what's happening out there. Okay, so thoughts, takeaways, just being the coach, being the ally, being the advocate, being the strategist, and leaning in because tomorrow's going to be different than today, and next week will be different than this week, right? And but we can get that the pace of change has definitely it's picking up, right? Yeah. Thoughts, comments before we complete our time? How do you think you could lean in and be a more strategic advisor to your clients? Was that a nice question or what? Asking good questions. We do that, right?
It's a big
I
question.
think it's, yeah.
It is a big question. Yes, exactly. Yes. Thank you. And what are your thoughts about it, Terry?
I think Carol was going to speak.
Well, I was-
I'll sit back to
Jump
you,
in.
Carol.
Jump in.
So it seems to me just being available, being accessible. My clients are used to paying for my services in a little box, and they don't call me just for anything. And so maybe I should be more available for that and let them know.
Kind of a nice idea, right? Yeah. 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 I wonder about past clients that are, everybody's feeling the uncertainty. They're feeling the shaky ground underneath them. And I think that clients in the past need us now more than ever, right? I think oftentimes we're looking for, reinforcing our current clients and looking for new clients. But what about those relationships from the past?
I also think it's important to show flexibility
Mm,
because things are changing so quickly.
yeah. Mhm.
And, we are offering the best information we have at this time with the sources
Yes.
available
Yes.
as anyone else is doing.
Mhm.
Yesterday, a couple of the really large Wall Street banks said that they were going to be continuing their DEI initiatives.
Yes.
And so that signals to a whole market segment and to all the subcontractors that they work with. And they are big enough that if some governmental contracts, they said that knowing that if they lose some governmental contracts, they will continue in other areas. But that balance of things are happening here, things may be not happening there. This is what we know as of now. I also think it's really important when you have conversations, to signal to people that you're getting your information from a variety of sources, because we don't know what people think. We don't know what a corporate culture is, and we don't know what individuals within that organization may feel. They may have a family member, you know, a daughter-in-law or a son-in-law that is on a path to citizenship, but is still working off a green card, and they find it scary. They may be, they may have somebody touched by cancer that was hoping to get into an NIH trial. And so there's just a lot of things that we don't know. And we can't make assumptions about anyone or any organization. We've got to try and meet them where they are, and be open to that we all find this a little. Change is scary. Change is always scary. And when things are happening this rapidly and in a manner that lends itself to a lot of confusion, then we can individually, but also in keeping track with each other, try and provide wise counsel.
Very, very excellent, Terry. Yeah, exactly. Yes, very, very great. Yes, thank you. Thank you. And who better than us, right? We get to lead the way in this. And yeah, and I love very much what you said is that we'll never know what's happening behind the scenes for the other person or the other person's family or communities. And so you're leading me to one of my final points here, of course, which is for us to really use our great skills of coaching and consulting. And I really liked informed optimism uh, because and I really work on that personally is okay, I'm getting sources and I'm getting content and I'm really looking using my discernment, which you all do too, is to say, okay, um, these outlets, what's their point of view on this and what's their objective, you know, and what's the message that I'm getting, but also using our practicing, you know, before I got on the call with the client, I was sensing that there were heightened emotions, which we're going to find. And so I prepared myself as we do as coaches and consultants before I got on the Zoom call, prepared myself, took a deep breath, set an intention for what's my intention for this call with this person, and to just really calm myself down, my nervous system down, and to come from a place of empathy because she was so, and we're going to find this, she was so, her emotions were so heightened that there were a lot of kind of attacks about things, and there was a lot of anger, and there was a lot of fire on the call. But I kept coming back to focusing in on her strengths. That's, you know, her fire is part of her strengths, which all of our, you know, clients are coming with their strengths. So taking a strengths approach, changing perspectives. And several times during the call, I had to really, really lean into, wow, I didn't understand that. I didn't know that. And so that these changes are from our clients' perspectives. And of course, coming with loving kindness. You know, we're all so good about that. And appreciative inquiry, really appreciating where they're coming from. So, you know, we've got tools. And I think also for me, using those tools with myself too, right? Is having more compassion for myself. Because as a light worker, as a coach consultant, as a trusted advisor like you are, this is not easy. You know, this is not an easy path we've taken in life, but we're leaning into it. And it's just who we are, right? Yeah. Okay. So all of that blended with, you know, what's our action plan? So I My intention is, and my hope is that you've gotten some new ideas today. You have some new perspectives, some new tools too, that will be able to navigate this Doge era with more confidence, more success for ourselves, and of course, for our clients, because they need it now more than ever before. So thank you. So, hey, as we finish up, everything that we want and our clients want is possible with a vision, the proper strategies, of course, the tactics as well, the support, and a community. And you get to provide that to your clients. So, with that, let's create new opportunities. And of course, as we complete our time, I think the real secret here is let's bring the light together. Okay. We get to bring our own magic, our own solutions into the world. Now's not the time to be hiding out. So we get the opportunity to step in and step up. So with that, ladies, lots of love to you. Curious about your biggest takeaway from our time together. We like to get in and get out, and here we are, 41 minutes, probably 35 minutes. Really good. Curious what your biggest takeaway is from our time together.
I appreciate everyone sharing. And Kathleen, I appreciate you sharing your experience yesterday with holding that space, because self-management really has been my word this week, and doing that prep talk, because the clients are coming with a lot of energy, and making sure that I'm staying back and not buying into the story or all of the story. So I appreciated you sharing your experience, because I was wondering if I was the only one having that experience. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you, Molly. And how marvelous to have a community. And our council, we are growing. We've got a big initiative to grow this year, because where do we go as coaches and consultants, where we know we have a special place in the world and we have special work to do. And how do we talk about things like this? And yeah, and get the support that we need. Yeah. Yeah. And you know, the old saying is we can't pour from an empty cup. So there we go. Yes. And as I joke, I have very big cups, so I need a lot of refilling in my cup. I, and you know, ladies, I have lots of cups. Drink a lot of water during the day. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Great. Great. Terry, Carol, biggest takeaway from our time. It's been joyous to be with you today. Thank you, each of you. Yes. Thanks.
Just hearing the perspectives, just
You, Terry. Yeah.
and having a quick conversation that is not where I don't have to be the expert, where I'm getting that, taking one step back and getting to hear what each of you is experiencing, because yeah, it has been an intense week, and it helps just to hear what other folks are going through, who are we're there to be a guide through the wilderness, and right now there's a heck of a lot of wilderness.
Just like your beautiful background, dear.
It just makes me
Absolutely. Makes us happy too. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Terry. Yes. Thank you for bringing it. You have such a beautiful grounding and really just very fortifying energy. And that is a gift to your clients too. We're sure of that. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Carol. Carol, always bringing the aloha spirit, dear. Always. Yeah.
So one of my takeaways is which end of the lens are we choosing to look through? And can we reframe and find the blessings? Can we find the positives? And also going back to past clients is such a powerful thing to do. Not something that I have done well. So,
well, I like to say, when I forget things, I get to the opportunity to remember them. So what a joy.
yeah.
And you have so many clients, Carol. They will love to talk to you. Oh my gosh, they will love to talk with you and re-engage for sure. Yes, great. Well, ladies, oh my gosh, you have been the highlight of my day. Thank you so much. And we send out love and blessings and kindness to everyone watching this replay. Thank you. You are making a difference. We are making a difference. Love to you. See you soon. Okay. Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.